The call came in at 3 a.m., a breathless, panicked whisper from the most exclusive address in the Hollywood Hills. It was the night the pop star's flawless image shattered, revealing a darkness his manager had desperately tried to bury. Detective Lena Santos had seen a lot of blood in her career, but the scene in the sprawling, minimalist mansion of Elias Vance was different. It was clean, almost staged, and aesthetic horror. Elias Vance, the 25-year-old musical icon whose face adorned billboards across the world, sat quietly on a white leather sofa, wearing silk pajamas that looked like they cost a detective's annual salary. His security guard, a man named Marcus, was on the floor of the private studio, dead from a single, precise puncture wound. Elias Vance looked less like a suspect and more like a Greek statue carved in a moment of mild inconvenience. "Mr. Vance," Detective Santos began, her voice low and even, "you reported the murder of your security guard Marcus Bell. Can you tell me exactly what you saw?" Elias took a slow, deliberate breath, his eyes flat and professional. "I heard a noise. A sound that shouldn't be here. I came out, saw him. The situation. I called my manager, Rob Sterling, first. He told me to call 911 immediately and not touch anything." The reference to Rob Sterling, Elias's infamous and controlling ex-manager, was the first red flag. Sterling was a known manipulator, rumored to be the true architect of Elias's success and his isolation. The official story was that Elias had fired Sterling 3 months ago, but the industry knew the manager held enough secrets to sink a dozen careers. "And where is Mr. Sterling now?" Detective Santos asked. "I don't know," Elias replied, his voice a perfect monotone, exactly as he sounded in interviews. "He said he'd handle the press and the lawyers. I haven't heard from him since the initial call." Santos looked around the room. Every surface was wiped clean. The crime scene was already sterile, hinting at preparation, perhaps even choreography. Elias's composure was unnerving. There was no genuine fear, no grief, just media-trained detachment. "You said you heard a noise, Mr. Vance? What kind of noise?" "A thud. Nothing dramatic." "Was anyone else in the house? A girlfriend? Staff?" "No. I prefer my privacy." Santos leaned closer, invading the pop star's manufactured bubble of calm. "Your fingerprints are on the studio door, the body, and the weapon, which we haven't found yet. You're giving me the same canned answers you give Access Hollywood." Elias didn't flinch. He simply raised one perfectly sculpted eyebrow. "Detective, I am cooperating fully. But I am not a criminal. I am a victim of circumstance and I have legal counsel arriving. Until they are here, I will only confirm the facts I have already given you. I have the right to remain silent, and I have the right to counsel." It was a perfectly rehearsed defense, smart, cold, and legally airtight. It was the same poise, the same unassailable control a person exhibits when they know the rules better than their adversary. Elias wasn't fighting the law, he was navigating a system he'd been groomed to beat. Santos felt the familiar flicker of frustration. "People like you," she said, letting the prejudice hang in the air, "you think fame is a shield, that your image means more than the truth." Elias met her gaze. "I think the truth will show that my security guard was attacked and I was the only witness. And I think you're looking at the wrong kind of fame, detective." He didn't need to elaborate. The manager, Rob Sterling, was the one who craved the reflection of Elias's fame, the one who lived in the shadow, consumed by the dark side of that celebrity power. Santos stood up. The confrontation had been a dead end. But something was missing. Elias's phone logs showed the 3 a.m. call to Rob Sterling lasted 28 seconds. Yet, there was another call 1 minute later to an unknown number that lasted over 3 minutes. Santos had the house combed. They found nothing. No weapon. No forced entry. It was too clean. It was then that a junior officer, checking the backup server in the home's dedicated media vault, found it, an audio file. It was an old file titled playback_backup_V3, recorded 6 weeks ago from the studio. Santos played it. It wasn't music. It was a heated, desperate argument between Rob Sterling and the security guard, Marcus Bell. "I'm sick of being your errand boy, Rob. Elias doesn't need your control anymore. He wants to go solo without you dictating his every move, and his money," Marcus yelled. Rob Sterling's voice, usually silken and manipulative, was ragged with fury. "You don't think I made him, Marcus? I own every note of his life. If he leaves me, I'll destroy him and anyone who helps him." The audio ended abruptly, followed by a soft, metallic click. Santos returned to Elias. "The second phone call. The one right after you called Rob. Who was it?" Elias's composure finally cracked. His eyes for the first time showed genuine terror. "It was Marcus Bell's emergency contact," he whispered. "I was trying to help." Santos realized the terrifying truth. Rob Sterling wasn't just managing Elias's career, he was obsessed with control. He orchestrated the firing to tighten his grip. When Marcus stood up to him weeks ago, Sterling had planned the murder, knowing Elias would be the perfect fall guy. The sterile scene, the rehearsed statement, it was all designed by Sterling, who had likely been hiding on the property waiting for his moment. He intended to kill Marcus, frame Elias, and then take over the entire estate and fortune. The 28-second call was Sterling giving Elias the script for the police, and the reason he disappeared was because he had already made his move. But the audio file, the one Rob Sterling thought he'd deleted 6 weeks ago, was still there. He had overlooked the one piece of evidence that placed him, with motive and threat, at the heart of the crime. "Rob Sterling is not handling the lawyers, Elias," Santos said, pulling out her cuffs. "He's running. And you just gave us the motive from 6 weeks ago." Elias Vance, the untouchable pop icon, was formally detained, but within hours, based on the audio evidence, the warrant was issued for Rob Sterling. Sterling was found 400 miles away, driving a rental car toward the Mexican border, a passport, a suitcase full of cash and a bloody knife, the missing weapon, in his trunk. Elias Vance was cleared of all charges, emerging from the ordeal as a shell of his former self, a star whose light had been eclipsed by the dark machinery of fame. He had survived the ordeal not through muscle or charm, but through the cold, calculated survival skills his manager had unwittingly taught him. He was a victim who nearly became a killer, until the silent truth, hidden in a forgotten audio file, spoke louder than any headline. The dark side of fame isn't just about the drugs and the paparazzi. It's about the people waiting in the shadows, ready to take everything when the spotlight blinds the person at its center. If this story of celebrity obsession and betrayal shocked you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the sinister side of the headlines. And share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that what you see on the stage is often a very dangerous lie. We'll see you in the next case.